butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. I can go anywhere. Friends to know and ways to grow, a reading rainbow. I can be anything. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. A reading rainbow.
Call them in my career crown, in Roots and Reading Rainbow and Star Trek. And I think the part of the beauty of that journey for me is seeing that as a storyteller, I've been able to portray the Black experience in America from our enslavement to the stars.
Mm-hmm.
And LeVar, the Reading Rainbow guy, is absolutely in the middle of that continuum. And so to really plot the trajectory of Black people through time and space in this, roughly 20th, 21st century time frame.
That is very profound. What a gift.
Yeah, what a gift.
Yeah, what a gift.
What a gift. Who gets to do that?
Mm-hmm.
I do.
I gotta cut to the chase. Yeah. Everyone give me some space. Okay. Don't fall out, we fall into place. Let's go. Every step walking with grace, amen. Keeping my foot off the brakes. Impact, I'm ready to brace.
All right, welcome to this Jawn Active Podcast. This is your boy Blurt Out, and with me as always is Hood Nerd. How you living, man?
Chillin', G. How you living, dog?
Yeah, shit, I'm living, man. I had a pretty eventful day today. As I told you, this morning. At the MS walk with my wife. My wife, she has multiple sclerosis, and we went out there for support, and a lot of people was out there and just had a good time. Nice little walk. Early morning. Downtown Phoenix, and kind of met some people, saw some cool people, saw a lot of different people. It seemed like the disease just keep going and growing and growing, and it started at the zoo some years ago, but with the crowd, more people getting affected with MS, it's expanded more, and trying to bring more awareness to it, but it was a good time. A lot of sightseeing. It was lovely.
Yeah. What area? How long was the walk? And what area was it in?
Yes, that's when I first saw it. I was just like, yo, it's in downtown Phoenix near Van Buren.
Okay. Damn, near the host stroll. They had the host and the people with MS.
I was like, yo, you're gonna be catching a lot of hoes walking around here on this street, but it's near the Memorial Park, I think it is, or something. I don't know if it's Memorial Park, but it's some park over there near the state capitol. So guess it's not too bad, but it's still, that area is a little rough.
Okay, so we're not talking about 20-something in Van Buren. Okay, all right.
Yeah, we're talking about like 19th Ave, 17th Ave, or something like that, Van Buren.
Okay.
So still not the greatest. It was
stragglers.
Yeah, exactly. It was still cool. It was quiet. But they had two pathways. one for 3 miles and one for 1 mile. We went to the 1 mile one.
Okay.
And pretty much was done within the hour or 2 hours. We kind of stayed there for almost 2 hours just to kind of kick it and chill and talk to the family and friends that showed up.
Word.
Yeah, so it was a nice time, and yeah, like I said, a lot of sightseeing.
Man, sounds dope. Shoot. I was
Yeah.
I was busy. It was a good day. It was a nice morning. You're right. It was a nice morning for a walk. I had coaching for my flag football teams
Yeah.
this morning and in the afternoon. The morning game wasn't too bad. It was still a little breeze going on, a little nice weather. Afternoon game, I'm like, dang, this Arizona tripping, bro. Like,
Yo,
my
bro.
dude, it's March. Can I get like it's
Yeah.
90 degrees. We're talking about 100 next week. What's going
Exactly.
on here already?
Yeah. That shit is crazy.
And we took 2 L's, so I was like, man, this is not real good. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a terrible start to the day, but it got better. It got better.
Okay. Okay. So, somebody that did have a good day. It was, a few days ago. Bam Adebayo from the Miami Heat with his
Yes, sir.
historic 83 points.
Great
And,
segue.
it was a historic moment, but, the next day, next morning, going into work, listening on the radio, I'm hearing people talk about how they're already comparing it. Some people are negating it, saying, "Oh yeah, he scored 83 points, but it's not as impressive as Kobe." I'm just like, okay, what the hell's going on with that? So there was a little division in there. So it's like even in sports, you can't even come together and be like, "Yo, that was a cool moment."
Mm-hmm.
Instead of people still dividing, between how impressive the 83 points is.
Mm-hmm.
And that just kind of like that kind of grinds my gears when people do that. It's like ain't none of y'all niggas out there and score 83 points in a pickup game,
No.
or even in your high school game when you did play ball. This motherfucker scored 83 points no matter how he got it. He scored 83 points in the NBA game against other NBA basketball players. Yes, it was the Washington Wizards. One of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the NBA. But still, they're an NBA team, and these are NBA players. And that's the one thing I had forgot to look up was how much stars have been scoring against the Washington Wizards, this past season, or at least this past season. And, it still doesn't matter. I just know nobody had been reaching 60, 70, 80 points throughout the year. You know, I think on some game, but it wasn't against the Washington Wizards, I don't believe. So, but yeah, it's
I think
just
the whole team only
yeah,
scored like 25 more points than him or something.
yeah,
Their team total was not much higher than his 83 points, which
exactly.
is also insane. I'd have to look at it, but I
Yeah,
think the score was like 120 to 100 or something like that.
it was like in the 120s or something like that, in which the NBA is nowadays a lot of games is 120 points. It's just that people was like, oh, it's not impressive because he had like 36 free throws, like out of 43. It was like he still got to the line and still hit those 36 free throws. How many of
Straight up.
y'all gonna hit 36 free throws with nobody in the gym? Just going into
Hmm.
the gym and you're just shooting 36 free throws. How many are you gonna make out of 43?
Exactly.
So what is your thought on the 83 points on Bam Adebayo?
Um, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I heard a lot of people talking a lot of shit about it, kind of putting it down a little bit, saying it wasn't impressive. I mean, people I really like and I fuck with, like, on the Cameron and Mace podcast, it is what it is. I couldn't believe Killer's take on it. Killer usually be right on the money. I was waiting for him to defend Bam, and he kind of jumped in with it, and that was just it was a heartbreaker for me because you know, Killer played basketball. He know what it's like to be out there hooping. I don't care if it's free throws. I think part of this has to be because of Kobe and him passing, and like people not maybe wanting that record broken, you know.
Yeah.
Or for him to be second to Wilt. And you know, Bam Adebayo is not this like flashy superstar that takes over games and like, you know, it is on that level that people think about Kobe on, or Jordan or MJ, and you know, or not MJ, LeBron. But get that man his due. And then when I saw him talking about it, you know, he had a very chill response to it all in this press conference. I'd have been in there like Birdman, like, hey, look, y'all gotta put some respect on my name. What is y'all talking about up in here, dog? Like, what? You know what I do? These fools they was hacking the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Going crazy with the fouls to try to stop me because I was having a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
And the Wizards, you know. It's the Wizards. Right?
Yeah, it's the Wizards. But
now they're the laughing stock. People talking about they got a picture. I just saw something just before we started the show. It's a picture of Jason Tatum. And I guess their next game is against the Wizards. And it was like, you know what to do. Now
shit,
people gonna be clowning on the Wizards hardcore.
Yeah, that shit is crazy.
I mean, I guess they have been like a really terrible franchise. I was not surprised when I saw it was on them.
Yes, it was. They have been a very, very, and that's why I didn't understand that why Trae Young wanted to go there. Like
probably for the money, dog, or something. I don't know.
It had to be for the money, because there ain't no fucking way I'd be like, you know what? Washington Wizards is actually going to be my point. You know, my point of destination. That's the choice. That's the place I want to go to. I just always wanted to be the Washington Wizards. Like,
no fucking way.
No fucking way I want to be there.
And not only that, I've been through Washington. It's historical and all this, you know.
Yeah.
That's cool. Shit is whack. I gotta be honest. No disrespect. Aside from the historical parts and like, all of that.
Yeah, and that's what I hear. I hear that shit all the time. I hear that it's like you got some historical, you know,
dope museums. Smithsonian's there.
Hell, Dave Chappelle talk about it all the time. They talk about how terrible, how ugly, you know, Washington actually is, and how like it's not really any place you'd be like, oh, I want to go back there, I want to live there, and so
nope.
and so.
That Jawn was raggedy. I got to be honest. The streets was tight. I was like, yo, this shit is not what I expected at all for the nation's capital. It just felt tight. Everything felt tight in that bitch. You could tell it was planned way back when, you know.
Yeah, but I was looking at Bam stats while you were talking, and he was going off in the first quarter. He only had 6 free throws in the first quarter, but he had 31 points.
They had to start fouling this fool.
Yeah, even in the second quarter, he had 12 points, 6 free throws. But then that's when the third and fourth quarter, that's when they started fouling him. And I think he had 11 and 13 free throws, like 24 free throws in like in the second half. They kept fouling him because that's when he ended up. He already got 43 points by halftime. Mm-hmm. So there was like, all right, you're gonna start following this nigga, and he still ended up getting like 67 or 69 by the time the third quarter was over, and then they just kept following him. So you can't really put that on him. It's like, yeah, still at the end of the day, even if you're getting hacked, and you had talked about this before, getting hacked and just getting beat while shooting free throw, that should really just throw your free throw shooting off, because you're just getting hacked. They're not sitting there touchy fouling you. Like, they hacking the shit out of you. They're trying to make you earn those free throws. Mm-hmm. And for him to get that feat, I'm gonna say Is it more impressive than Kobe? No, because Kobe actually was hitting those buckets, but I'm still going to give it up and be like, yo, 83 is still impressive.
And we got to think, Kobe took every shot in that game, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would give it's very close in my mind to Kobe's, you know. Just as impressive to me, honestly, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I may be a little biased because I'm a Heat fan.
Yeah.
but I just don't see how you can hate on somebody putting up 80 points in an NBA game.
Exactly.
Millions of dollars these players are getting paid to stop, to guard your man and guard a team. And he put up 83 on your whole team.
Yes.
Come on. The bench couldn't stop him. The starters, nobody.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's on the. Aside from the superstars that the Wizards have, I have no idea who's playing for them. Who Bam was brutalizing in that first quarter that made them start turning to the Hack-a-Shack or the Hack-a-Man, because that is crazy.
Yeah, I have no idea who the starters are.
Imagine
the players are.
Shaq, a legend, a Hall of Famer. He couldn't even shoot free throws.
Yeah.
This fool, they was putting him on the line all the time. It was an effective strategy for him at first,
Yeah.
If Shaq was hitting all them free throws, he might have an 80-point game in the books.
Exactly. But they know he was a terrible free throw shooter. And Bam is not a great free throw shooter either, I don't believe. But he was hitting it that night.
Knocking them down.
36 to 43 is what I saw.
Listen.
And I think the only reason why a lot of the shooting, his shooting wasn't good. The shooting percentage wasn't good. I think it was something like 16 of 30 something. I think, I don't know if he took like 30 shots or some shit like that. I think it was below 50%. And Kobe was 60% of shooting. And I think that's why me personally, I think it's more impressive with the shooting, but still not going to take anything away from Bam Adebayo with his 83 points. That's still a crazy feat to make in the NBA. Nobody has ever done it. Hell, Devin Booker, who's a scored 70 points. I think Luka has 74. I don't know if it was this year or last year, but not too long ago, he had 74 points. So these feats are not necessarily easy.
It's not. And Bam did it off of twos. He's not a three-point shooter.
Yes.
He's not fucking Steph Curry.
That's
This motherfucker was in the paint, banging, getting all his offensive rebounds and, good pick and roll plays. Like, that's the kind of player he is, But then again, now he done started messing with Asia.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit, I guess, because this fool cutting up now.
Guess so. I haven't been keeping track of his record if they played since the game and see how he had been since. But
ain't got to do nothing the rest of the season, man. This fool on top of Mount Rushmore.
Exactly. But yeah. So next we're gonna hop on to the what's been kind of happening all over the internet that's been not somewhat but really entertaining. It's the 50 Cent beefs that he's been having with the less rapper.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, this man is the king of trolls, and he has been for all these years. And lately, he's had beef with Papoose, and I saw that picture that you told me about. Papoose.
I just put the wig on Pap like that, dog.
Oh shit! I saw that, and with the rappers turned podcasters from Less Rapid podcast with Fabulous, Mano, Jim Jones, and Dave East. Earlier in the year, he's been having beef with T.I. and all these niggas have put out diss tracks towards 50 Cent. I've been seeing a lot of comments and a lot of takes on this beef that's been going on. So what do you think and what do you know about what's going on with this beef?
Man, I usually don't follow a lot of the drama like this, with the celebrities I mean, my rap battle days is like back in the day with
Yeah,
like Jay
yeah,
Z and Nas and
exactly.
like, the old school stuff when I was really
Yes.
into hip hop,
Uh huh. Yeah,
Not to say that I'm not into it now, but definitely not as much as I was as a young man. I didn't think I would see something like this. I feel like this is taking it to a new level only because 50 is not putting out too much music
yeah.
about this stuff.
Mm,
He going at people personal lives. He going any way he can go to get them agitated like a child. It's
yes.
very juvenile. It is entertaining, I can't lie. And I feel like he winning against everybody. Like from what I'm
Yeah.
seeing, the only argument people can come up with is that he's not rapping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, maybe that's smart of him. Maybe he know like my bars is not what they used to be. I've been a millionaire
Hmm.
for a long time now. I'm not in the streets like that really anymore. I'm from it,
Yeah.
but I've been doing different things the last 10, 15 years or whatever, however long his career's been.
Yeah.
So I get why he's turning to things like documentaries. I just don't know how he pushing this shit out so fast and like how he making all these, the documentaries, the
Hmm.
pulling people rent, with the rappers for their podcast, like pulling their
Yeah.
location from out from under them. Got Jim Jones crashing out on the internet, kicking doors and whatnot,
Yeah. Yeah.
looking crazy. The Papoose and Clarissa, I don't even know where they came from in all this, how they got sucked into it. Maybe it's publicity for them or something. I don't know. But like I said, it seems to be a beef with heavy hitters, low level people, everybody. You know what I mean? And all in that kind of sphere of hip hop.
Hmm.
And I don't know if Clarissa is just catching strays or
Yeah. She just got the strays.
man, listen, she just put out a whole video
Yeah.
talking about how ridiculous it is that he's saying she cheating with some dude.
Yeah.
I never even heard of this dude. It's just a couple of them I haven't heard of. The one
Exactly.
dude that you just mentioned, I already forgot his name,
Yeah.
and you had to look
Davies.
it up.
Yes.
Davies, yeah. Don't know who that is. I may know
Yeah.
either. I have no idea who that is.
Oh, Mano. I only knew Mano because of that one song, "I Hate Her."
I didn't know that was him.
Yeah, that was it. That's the only reason I knew because after that I have not. I think he had another hit, but ain't heard much after him after that.
Yeah. I
But
wasn't a real big Jim Jones fan either. The only one on
yeah,
that list that I actually rocked with was Fabulous because he
yes,
had
yes,
bars.
same here, same
Yeah.
here. Fabulous is one I was talking about. I wasn't really on that Dipset movement too much.
Cameron, yes, but not
Cameron, yeah,
PD maybe, not the rest of them.
yeah, yeah. The rest of them, I wasn't really on that Dipset with George Santana and all them. I was
Oh, I
like,
like Jules. Yeah, I like Jules.
yeah, yeah. It was like they were cool, but they weren't.
Jewels.
Yeah, they weren't. You know, type shit.
I get
But
it. You from the West Coast and shit.
yeah, from the West Coast. But yeah, well, I did some like little digging and research on I guess 50 Cent and Papoose.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, kind of had beef a long time ago. Actually, damn near 20 years
Uh,
ago.
oh.
And I guess because 50 Cent has said something about when Remy Ma came out
Mm-hmm.
and she came out of prison, but that was actually 10 years ago. No, no, 20 years ago before she went to prison. So he said something about, oh damn, damn Remy, you looking slim. So that's it. And Papu, didn't like that, and
Mm-hmm.
was like, yo, don't be sitting here trying to, what about your baby mama? Baby mama looking good, so and so. And it was just like, the fuck. I just said that she looked slim. I wasn't trying to hit on her or nothing like that. I was just saying she lost weight, she looked slim.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So, 50 being petty as he was and still is, you know, ended up, I guess, after they broke up, this nigga ended up dropping Remy Ma off in his Bentley while Papoose was like across the street.
Bro.
So, and they got a video of they're like talking to her or whatever in his car, and while Papoose is like diagonaling across the street, just sitting on like the kind of on on his car or whatever, sitting like I was just like, yo, this nigga is petty, and that shit was a while ago. It kind of
diabolical.
It started with that shit, and then I guess it kind of came up again when I can't remember how it came back up, but I don't know if it was Clarissa Shields that said something about him and how petty he is and that he needs to grow up or whatever, and or it may have been something else, but that's when he went at Papoose again, and that's how the beef started. And then I heard the diss from Papoose, and the diss is good, but I'm like,
he killing you though.
Yeah, it's you would be killing him if the only thing he had was his music.
Yes,
you would have won that, but
yes,
I'm looking at it like and it's the same thing with Mano and Les. I guess they had beef 4 months prior, like late last year, about the owing him $250,000 for that studio space that they had. And I guess they ended up making a freestyle saying squatters right, freestyle. And freestyle was dope. They were going after 50. 50 ain't really into the music like that anymore. I mean, and he has put out some shit. He has put out some
I heard his song too.
Yeah, and I'm just like, this is cool, but I think, people were just like, oh, 50 is done. 50, he's just, I was like, nah. I don't think he's done. If anything, he's winning. Because he did this, he started this with Kanye years ago, knowing that Kanye is probably going to outbeat his album when they had that little beef. But he ended up getting marketing, ended up getting publicity throughout all that shit. So I was like, 50 Cent is a smart businessman. He gonna stay relevant as long as he keep doing this. And these niggas keep coming back. All of them ended up coming back with a diss. And basically, he's gonna look at y'all and be like, yo, you're welcome for revitalizing y'all rap careers.
Pretty much. Because I'll be honest, I haven't even listened to the diss tracks of the people that he beefing with.
Yeah.
Because everything I see is him killing them with memes and jokes and documentaries and personal history and shit.
Exactly. And
especially Papoose. Papoose is catching hell. I feel bad for him because he got this fool dressed up like a lady, calling him Papoosey. Talking about how he had a chart about, how to be in rap for 20 years without any hits and equal Papoose and shit. It was, he's just killing that fool with me. If I was Papoose, I probably would pull a Drake and just stop talking altogether for the rest of the year and shit.
No, but you know how them New York niggas is. Them niggas is not gonna let up.
Bro.
They're gonna keep going.
I hope 50 Bodyguards is, solid.
I know, right?
He making these niggas mad enough to want to take him out, I'm sure. I know they mad, dog.
Yes, I know they mad. And they're gonna see that the diss track is not phasing him at all.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, y'all can diss me all the fuck y'all want. That shit ain't gonna do nothing to me. I'm still
know why?
Out memes to me.
That nigga got fuck you money.
Exactly.
Fuck you money is the best thing you can have in this world because what they gonna do? Fuck you. I got all the money I need to have bodyguards to move how I want to move in any crowd.
Yeah, exactly. And
what you gonna do?
Yeah, and that's some of the stuff I was hearing, like the Papoose freestyle or the Papoose diss track. He talked about that. He talked about how 50 Cent, not a nigga in the streets and all this other, like basically a street career. And 50 is like, okay, I don't give a shit at this point. Like you said, I got fuck you money.
And not anymore. He's not in the streets anymore. Who would go back to the streets
Yeah.
after they became a legitimate businessman and is
Yeah.
making millions of dollars, approaching who knows billions? I don't know. I don't know his fucking net worth,
Yeah.
but I know he's been doing good for a long time, and he's had his hands in different things like vitamin water, and there's alcohol that he has too. And I'm like, oh yeah, the vitamin water was huge.
Yeah, the vitamin water was huge. Then he just got a recent deal with DoorDash. I saw a DoorDash commercial. That nigga was still putting out stories towards Diddy. I'm just like, yo, this nigga's even in commercials.
Bro, he don't let nothing go. He real hurt. I mean, Diddy got fuck you money too, so it was probably hard to really do anything to him. Aside from this documentary, he had to think long and hard about that one.
Exactly.
And he definitely waited for this motherfucker to go to jail, too. Maybe to make it sting more, I don't know.
Exactly.
But he was definitely hurt about Diddy slapping up his ex and all that.
Yeah, so you were definitely heard about that. That's why I consider 50 like basically the new Eminem, like the new age Eminem. Because Eminem was like that. He was a troll as a rapper, just going after anybody and everybody just because. He had no beef with him, or nothing. He ended up creating a beef with him. He didn't give a shit. He was just having fun with it. And but that's what 50 Cent is now. Just like he's having fun with this shit, and he's getting paid, and he's still being relevant.
Straight up,
being the petty dude. So
people like petty. People like revenge stories.
Exactly.
I even like a little bit of that. Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. I'm not gonna do.
Yeah,
but
some people got it coming.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can't wait on the Lord to exact the revenge that I need.
Exactly.
I want to get it right then and there.
Exactly.
Feel that gratification.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Exactly. I'm gonna hold on real quick. All right, I'm back.
Word.
50 Cent is the troll.
Straight up. One of the best ever.
Yes, one of the best ever. It's like you can't really be mad at him because that's who he is. But I guess speaking of another troll that we don't like, Trump is with the bombing of Iran, and a lot of people are kind of fearing the Iran and actually ending actually hitting American soil. They pretty much kind of made it clear, and I just saw a video not too long ago, and I kind of did a little bit more research on it, and they've been saying it for years. They've been saying death to America for years, but they're not talking about the American people. I saw the Iranian leader, supreme leader, I won't say his name, I ain't gonna pronounce it, but he said, I'm gonna make this very clear, and he had to keep reiterating. He wanted to make it very clear. When we say death to America, we're talking about the politics. We're talking about the U.S. politics, the politicians, the leaders, U.S. leaders, the Trump, and whoever else is in leadership for the U.S., not the American people. American people ain't got nothing to do with this. We have no problem with the American people. It's the U.S. politics that we are saying death to them. But as always, the MAGA people, even some of the American people, don't do the research and try to, research some of the stuff and be like, we don't have so much to fear because he's not, unless Trump pushing, he's not really looking forward to trying to kill innocent people here. Just like Trump did. And I remember, like they did early in the fucking morning when we just woke up and hearing about the shit, and it's like, I'm just gonna go back to sleep. This shit is crazy.
Waking up is so wild right now. I mean, it's only March, and we got a war. We got Epstein, which they trying to bury with all this war shit, and we
Yes.
should absolutely not let them bury this Epstein shit because what the fuck? We got the DEI shit. It's just something every week. For a while there, it was every day.
Yes.
You wake up and you're just like, oh my God, bro, what is going on? In this war, nobody wants it. Other world leaders are finally saying, like, no, we are not rolling with this fucking psychopath that is running America right now and his horde of psychopath, moronic, cult idiots
Yes.
that are buying into this shit and buying into these lies and like want this, you know? I mean, it's so crazy to think that people in the 21st century still feel this way, still can be bamboozled like this.
Yes.
I just, I'm like, why have we stopped evolving? Like, why are we just stuck in this place of half stupid, half not? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't get it.
We were evolving. That's where some years ago I had came to the conclusion, and I'll just say this in general, and now it's even more so, that I always believe that we as people are ignorant. At first, it was we're stupid. We as people are stupid. And now, as I got to realize, we are all ignorant in our own ways. Some choose to be more ignorant than others. And now it seems
Fair.
like a lot of people choose to be more ignorant than others. It's just like it's sad. It's saddening that you have people that just don't want to. You know, they don't know. They just feel. I guess they feel like like you said, it's a cult. They feel safe in that realm until some shit happens to them. And now you start seeing people being like, when they get asked questions, how do you feel about the Trump votes now? It's like, yeah, I regret that. And these are the same people that said they regretted the first time. And they thought it was going to change the second time. And it's almost like these people have Stockholm syndrome. They're just getting abused. So they're basically they're the victim, but they're loving their abuser. They're finding ways to love their abusers. And I just think there's a lot of, and then mental illness also plays a part too a lot now, and I think that's also kind of what's stopping us from evolve, because now we have a lot of people that's dealing with mental illness. Then it's like to get somebody like this is going to just feed on that.
Well, absolutely. I mean, mental illness, like you said, ignorance. Um, maybe I'm being harsh with the stupidity and the idiots and all that. No need to. I mean, I don't know. It's
I'm on
just
board with that too. I'm on board with
there's
that
got to
too.
be some of them because,
I'm
like,
not,
how can you just
not,
bury your head in the sand
exactly.
like that?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm on board. There's a lot of people that are stupid too. I'm not saying that the mental illness is the reason. It's like, no, there's some people that have the mental illness, but there's a lot of stupid and ignorant people out there. They want to be ignorant and they want to be stupid.
The one thing I can't wrap my mind around is when you ask these Trump supporters and the people who are still supporting these decisions in this regime, what has he done for you? How has he made life better for you? What policies has he enacted that have directly affected your life for the better? They can't tell you one fucking thing.
They can't.
Not one, bro.
I don't know if you've seen this one video where this dude is talking to his dad, and this was the first time. And he was like, the dude was like, yo, he was like, what has Trump done for you? He was like, Trump has done more for me in this country than Obama has. He was like, yo, he was like, he was like, you're jobless, you got DUI, and so, and you can't get a job. What is Trump doing for you? And then he couldn't answer it. That shit was hilarious because the person that was recording, I think it was like his sister maybe, or it was a female, but they was laughing their ass off because the dad had nothing to say. He was like, "What has he done for you? You can't get a job. You got a DUI during his term. He has not helped you at all.
At all. He ain't give you no free money.
Nope.
The stimulus only came as a result of the coronavirus.
Exactly.
That's because he fucked up so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he promised a $2,000 check, and then he was like, "What $2,000 check? What are you talking about? Like, what do you mean?"
Yeah,
and then
all
people
the
are
things that they
trying
were
to, yes, and people are
running on and
trying
no
to
water.
what's the name? Yeah, people are trying to even make excuses on why that $2,000 never came. It's like, bro, you really do have Stockholm syndrome. You're making excuses
Yes,
for this.
that's the perfect explanation. It has to be just a gang of people out here with it
Yeah,
that just love this abuse and actually think it's benefiting them somehow.
yeah.
But all the prices are up for everything.
Everything. I remember people were
Everything.
putting up stickers of like Joe Biden saying, I did this. And it's like now Trump is like, I did this. It's like,
No.
because of the fucking war and then the shit from Venezuela. And I remember that shit was happening when Venezuela was, even the president, or is it the president of Venezuela? She stepped in. She was praising him. She even gave him a Nobel Peace Prize. But now she's like, yo, y'all niggas gonna have to wait for the oil. Let me take care of the shit I need to take care of first. You guys over here trying to take the oil from me as soon as I got into office. Like, give me a fucking break. Like, she even basically said that in the nicest terms. Like, give me a fucking break.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take care of what I need to take care of my country first, and then we can discuss the oil trades. They was hopping on that shit like, yo, they trying to take my shit. They been rushing her and just sending her notifications like, yo, we need to hurry up and get this oil trade happen since we did this for y'all.
And I heard something in regards to the oil that now we're going to start getting oil from Russia again, which is like, oh, this sounds too perfect. It sounds like just like what we already knew.
Exactly.
This motherfucker is in cahoots with Putin, and now is going to be giving them more American dollars.
Yeah.
And who knows if it's even going to do anything for the gas prices, which have certainly went up since this shit started.
Yo, that shit went way up.
Way up.
I was like, God damn.
It's an extra $20 to fill your shit up.
Yeah, I was like, yo, this shit was just at like $3. In Arizona, it was at least like at $3 in certain parts, but now that shit is like $4, $4.50 and shit. I'm like,
yes, $4.50.
God damn.
Yes, terrible timing. This fool has got to go. All of these people have got to go. I mean, I hate to say it, but if Iran somehow did get a few of them, I'm never going to advocate for violence. Let me not even put that out there.
Yeah.
But we got to get them the fuck out of here somehow. And the system ain't working anymore. They got to get rid of this electoral college bullshit.
Yes.
And leave it up to the people, And the people really got to stand up for something and not be falling for this brainwashing. Because I don't know what world they want to live in, where it's not diverse.
Yeah.
I went to this restaurant here out where I live in Arizona, which is predominantly white and Hispanic. And I went into this very ritzy neighborhood. There's a taco shop, middle of their, main street, out here in the area called Verado. And I went in there and it was nothing but white people. Not us. The only people of any color were in the kitchen and behind the counter and working there. And I started thinking to myself, like, two things I thought. One, before this fool became president, I never went into any white areas, like, especially predominantly white areas, which Arizona is a heavily, Caucasian state. I never went into those areas and felt uncomfortable. I would be fine around a gang of white people, not even thinking about it. Now, I'm like, oh my God, are they all Trump supporters? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like walking around like on the eggshells a little bit, like, oh, I got this weird feeling. And when I went
Yeah.
into this restaurant, I thought, man, this is they probably all Trump supporters out here in this
Yeah.
ritzy neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to judge a book by its cover, but I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's the vibe I got. And I'm like, here they are enjoying these tacos and, cuisine from these people
Yeah.
that they don't even want in the country. And I don't think that's what it is. I've started thinking about it a little bit deeper. They do want us in the country, but in service capacities.
Yes.
They do not want us eating with them
No.
at the taco shop
No, they don't.
in the ritzy neighborhood.
No, they do not.
And I don't know how much of it is that, but to think that there is a huge section of it that is scary because it brings back a time that I thought we were evolving from and moving on from,
Yes.
But it just
Yeah.
shows you how thin the line is
Yes.
between where we are now and going back to that.
Exactly. Exactly. Because I remember similar to that story. I went to a Chick-fil-A. You know, in ritzy white neighborhood where I live. We actually moved out there, and this place a city called Peoria, and there's a lot of white people out there. When we lived out there, I was cool. I was fine. I was like I felt a little out of place when I went to the Chick-fil-A because there was nothing but white people. I ain't never been around so many white people, in one setting. And I wasn't uncomfortable as far as like, Trump, because this was before Trump. And I was like, this is just, I'm just out of place. That's it. I didn't fear for my life. I wasn't a little nervous about nothing like that. I was just like, I just never seen this many white people at one place. And then it's like after, first term with Trump and seeing how people are acting and how pissed off people really got after he lost the second term to Biden. And it was like, now it's like I look at white people different now. And again, I'm not trying to, like you said, I'm not trying to judge a book by its cover, but it's majority white people. And then there's even some black people you can kind of tell, and you look at them just like, he might be a Trump supporter.
Bro, whitewashed minorities, it's a real problem. That shit is a real. That shit just. It's Samuel L. Jackson and Django for me.
Yes,
It's
yes.
like that. I'm like, the fuck are you doing, bro?
Exactly, like, bro.
You bootlicker, you. Like, get out of here. Fuck out of here, bro. Straight up. Like, and that's the fucked up part because, like, most of my life grew up not having any kind of problem with white people as a whole.
Yes.
I still don't feel like I do. I just feel like ever since Trump came in office, whenever I have an interaction with a white person that, like, let's say they're rude, I don't know if they're just a rude person or they racist. And now I got this in my mind all the time. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I had a similar situation. Well, not similar, but I walked into a Raising Cane's in a pretty, I don't know, I won't say diverse, but Hispanic and white neighborhood. And there's a white girl helping me at the counter. And I'm like, Miss, you don't have to put my food in the bag. I don't, I'm just going to take it. Because me personally, I think the bag steams the food a little bit, makes it a little soft and flimsy. The fries be all soft. I'm like, no, I don't want
all
that.
soggy and shit, yeah.
Not only did I told this hoe not to put it in there.
Yeah.
My food comes out literally like 10 seconds later.
Yeah.
She puts it in the bag, hands it to me. I take it out of the bag and hand it to her. She's like, oh, I forgot about that. And then had the nerve to say, I don't think it really works like that. I was like, bitch, you know how many times I've been up in this Raising Cane's? Look at me. I know my way around some chicken and fries, ho. Like, are you crazy? Fucking gonna tell me why you think they got the holes in the styrofoam so it don't steam it? You dumb bastard. I was so mad at this, and I was the whole way thinking like, I'm driving home with my Chick-fil-A, like, or not Chick-fil-A, but my Cane's, and I'm like, yo, is this bitch trying to tell me that it won't steam up the fries and shit? Like, she really questioned me? about me not wanting the bag, and then put the food in there.
Yeah.
Bro, I couldn't tell if the situation was
Man,
because
that's
she was incompetent and a little rude, or if she was racist.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a perfect example of what this fool has done to to the country on a smaller scale, because there are people who had some of those like really good DEI jobs.
Yeah.
And it's just gone for them now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gone. It's crazy because and I saw one of Elon Musk's employees had talked about that. He had got interviewed for it, and he said that the DEI is not good for the humankind. And they was like, why? And he was like, what do you mean why? Why did you say the DEI is not good for the humankind? Then they kind of gave examples or whatever. And he was like, did I say that?
I saw that.
It was like, we'll play it back. And he was like, well, you kind of, taking it a different way of what I was saying. I was like, no, you literally just said the DEI is not good for humankind. You were just on your Charlie Kirk shit. He said that,
and he said it because he said it focuses on one race, on one sub-race of people.
Yes.
He actually said sub-race, which the fuck, bro?
Exactly. Like, you don't realize it's multiple races that it affects. I mean,
multiple.
It helps other races. It just takes some opportunities away from your white race.
And there was two guys that they interviewed from that Doge shit, and one of them said they had the AI running a check for words like LGBTQ, AIDS, black, like it was everything to do with like all these minority groups,
Yeah.
And they cut $100 million from those programs. So the only thing cutting DEI programs help is white people getting those jobs and not being that. Then the companies don't have to have that. What's that shit called? The mandatory quota for minorities.
Yeah.
Affirmative. Was it affirmative action?
Is it affirmative action? I think it's something like that. I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the word.
I can't remember the term either, but it's just all this shit is all linked in.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy when you start peeling back the layers.
Yeah.
And the war, for him to start a war to get out of that Epstein shit is just so lame. And then the first thing you do is bomb a school.
Yo,
bro.
School, bro.
Come on.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. Because I just saw recently too. I guess I don't know if it's the same anonymous group. I didn't really read into the story, but somebody else brought out another Trump and Epstein statue, making a Titanic.
Oh no.
Yo, it was a gold one this time. This shit was just out there. Trump is behind Epstein, and Epstein's out here. Like this. Trump is, behind him, holding his arms and shit. I was like, yo, these things is really, and it's in Washington. They just keep putting this shit out there. How are they getting it out there that quickly, overnight, when nobody's seeing the shit?
Good for them.
It's like, yeah.
We got to fight the power, bro.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't want to just tell people to fight the power. I do want to, do it too, I'm with... Viva la Revolution, because what the fuck is going on here in America?
Yeah, it's crazy and it's scary, man. Hopefully we can just come together and, just be at peace. I think I think you shared it with the homeboy saying that this world has never been, it's always been violent.
Always
been fucking violent. That shit was funny. That was the first time I ever saw that. That shit was funny. It was like, yo, we couldn't even get 4 people in, and violence already happened. Bro, Cain killed Abel. I was just like, yo, that shit is so true.
That shit is. When I saw that and I came across that, props. Shout out to that comedian or whoever was talking about that.
Yeah.
About how we only had 4 people. And then Cain killed Abel, and it was down to 3.
Yeah.
Like he just summed it up.
Yeah, that
One of the four people to start existence immediately turned into a murderer and shit. Isn't it?
Killed 25% of the population
Yo,
already.
just like
Shit
that.
was wild. Downtown Eden is the hardest hood, bro.
Yo, the hardest. And don't check out Jerusalem because you might not come back, my nigga. It's a
And I had to look that shit up. I was like, yo, where would they say? Oh, and it's somewhere between Turkey and Iraq. So it was in there, just like so they got the hardest hood, and we grew up in hood areas, but ain't nothing like that.
bro. That just goes to show, man. I don't know if we'll ever get it together,
Yeah,
because it's been
may
going
not.
on since the beginning of time. And that's
Yes.
assuming you believe that there was a
Yeah.
Garden of Eden and it all started with Adam and
Yeah.
Eve.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
said we had it good up until lunchtime, and
Yeah.
then everything went to shit after that. So that comedian,
Exactly.
he was killing, bro. I wish I knew his name. I'm sorry, we can't shout you out, but
Yeah.
good shit because you hit the nail in the coffin. We have
Yeah.
been a hard pill to swallow from the very beginning.
From the very beginning. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I remember I just took a time just to try to read the Bible, just to read it like a book. And not try to read it for like feeding my soul or anything like that. I was just, let me just read this for the book. Just kind of read it. And I'm reading it and I'm just like, damn.
Yeah.
This shit already got murder, incest, all this. I'm like, what the fuck?
The good book.
This is the good book. I was just like, yo, this is, more drama than any other shit that all these
Straight
other
up.
books that people
All
come
of
up
it
with shit.
is.
I was just like, yo, this shit is crazy.
Even if you subscribe to the ideology of evolution.
Yeah.
Neanderthals was bobbing bitches in the head and dragging them back to the cave and shit. They wasn't even asking no questions or
Yeah, that was
making no
like,
clicks or nothing. They was just pulling out the club. Bop.
yeah.
Come on with me.
Yeah, that shit is well, that time was wild.
Wild.
That's but um, yeah, so on some lighter shit.
Man.
We're about to end the podcast pretty soon. Um, we got our clip of the week, clip memes of the week, and this has been out for maybe going on a year, if that. But it's one of our favorite clips, and it's pretty much kind of, it's actually kind of an ode to us, how we are, and it just, we just, cause we're juvies, we're juveniles, and we're never gonna grow up.
Yes, indeed. No, I can't even see her without laughing.
So, all right.
I gobbled it up. It was so well done, and all of you play a part in that chemistry. Who's going to be stepping into this massive new role, but she also wants to hold on to her career and still save the world and protect the citizens.
I spoke to Matt and Kevin and everybody about any tropes, and I was worried about it at certain points, and he annoyed him sometimes because I was thinking about it so much because there are so many cliches associated with so much over the decade.
Completely, just I gobbled it up. It was so.
Just would not let that go at all.
I love it. Fuck
And
professionalism.
Exactly.
We cannot let this pass. We can't let this moment pass without acknowledging the verbiage.
Yes.
We can't do it.
No.
And I know this drives people crazy, but I don't know if I'll ever be able to stop it, bro. I just be catching people in the verbiage all the time.
Yes.
And I gotta give them the look. I gotta say something to somebody about it. I can't just tuck that in and keep it inside. There's no way.
Exactly. And that's when we used to work together. It was just like when somebody say some shit. It's like I'm looking at you. And then it's just like, when we looking at each other, it's like, yo, they just said the wild shit. And just like, and we just started laughing. Everybody looking at us like, why the fuck are we laughing? Why are y'all
Yes.
laughing? And it's just like, don't mind us. We're just fucking children.
For real. And then they put it together.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you did say gobbled it up.
Exactly.
You did say that.
Yeah.
I don't know to tell you. This is where my mind is immediately going to go.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And then for the homie to just be relentless with the you gonna break. You gonna acknowledge this for sure.
Exactly. Oh, that shit is hysterical.
Masterful. It's a masterclass in
it is. It is a masterclass.
Juvenile behavior and shit.
Yes. It's just, then like the HR manager or whatever, Pedro Pascal looking over like, what the fuck y'all like?
Yo, the HR manager cracked me up. And then the other lady, she was a little offended, like, oh, they laughing at my answer? Like, no, you didn't miss the whole thing. How did y'all miss the whole thing? Like, what's going on here?
Exactly.
Dude was fighting for his life for a while then. He tried everything.
Oh, bro.
His playbook was impeccable. He tried to put his, he tried to get right.
Yeah, he tried to get right. He tried to cough it off and be like, yo, just at least look away, whatever, or something. Just let me just get something. All of a sudden, look up, see him right there in his face. It's like, yo.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Somebody needs to interview them about the aftermath of that interview, because I've never seen anything from the reporter again or the people about it. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, let's follow up on this one at least. Exactly. This is a great moment in history.
Oh, shit. Yo, that is funny. That is a great moment in history. And speaking of great moment in history, we got our tribute of the week.
Yes, sir.
A shout out to the person, place, or thing that has had an impact in our lives. We do this every week, and this week it'll be my turn, and this one will be another person, and also on the same network, the first person that I had gave a tribute and shout out to, and it's LeVar Burton. The philanthropist, reader, actor, and just overall wonderful human being. So my introduction to LeVar Burton is reading Rainbow. That was my introduction to him. And I'm not a fan of really reading, but he had me engaged in reading, or actually watching the show about reading. And he had brought me into a different world. And he brought me to escape reality of where I'm at, as far as when reading these books and reading the stories. And, kind of like how Mr. Rogers did, he made me want to be a kind person, a loving person, a calm person, because I just saw how peaceful he looked. That's what I wanted to be like. And LeVar Burton, as a black man, the black boy that, we can excel in reading. He has set that example, and making reading fun. And then, later on, saw him in Roots, and saw him in Star Trek. Started seeing him pretty much get his flowers even afterwards. And, I just saw some clip from Community 2 where, Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, saw him, did not say a word to him at all, just sitting there just can't say a word as soon as you see LeVar Burton. And I feel like that'll kind of be us if we ever saw him, because, this man is he's a treasure. You know, he is a treasure, and he has had a huge impact in my life. And you know, watching that documentary, Butterfly in the Sky, I already respected the man. After watching that documentary, respected him even more.
Yeah.
And then I didn't even know that I'm mad I didn't see this shit. That when I had looked him up and tried to find some clips of him or whatever, I didn't know that he popped up on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Mm.
And I was like, what the fuck? 40 years on this earth and I've never seen this shit?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I was like, I gotta find that clip. I gotta find that episode. I had to watch that one. Got that one right there, and I had the biggest smile on my face, like I was a kid all over again, just watching them too. You know, watching the small clip that they had. It was very, very refreshing to see that. But you know, my shout out to LeVar Burton.
Hell yeah, definitely got a shout out my man Geordie LaForge. That is kind of where I started really taking notice of LeVar Burton. His acting as you know, a Starfleet officer on Star Trek. You know, I definitely remember reading Rainbow back in the day, but mainly for the song. They had the dopest fucking intro song of maybe any TV show ever. It's definitely, you know, you would have to put it in a list of ranking those songs that start off TV shows, you know, with the butterfly in the sky and all that. It was so chill. It was a vibe, you know. I feel like reading Rainbow for me at the time I was coming up was probably like some nap time shit. You know what I mean? Like you hear the intro, you hear him start narrating the story, and you out like a light because he
Yeah,
had
I
the
can see that.
smoothest voice ever. You know, so I don't really remember too much of like the reading part of it. But once he made it to Star Trek, then I made the association like, oh my goodness, this is my homie from Reading Rainbow.
Yeah.
And just the song was enough to put it in high regard for me.
Mm-hmm.
But his voice narrating it, you know, now that I look back on it, I'm like, damn, that was sick. You know, like he's really out here trying to help kids read, you know, and not just black kids, white kids, all kids, you know.
Yeah.
He was really on some Miss Rachel shit or something, you know, Mr.
Yeah.
Rogers shit.
Yeah.
But as Geordie LaForge, I mean, to see him as a black character on there that was highly respected, you know, had his own story arc, and you know, just a cool brother on a starship, knew his stuff, you know. It was awesome for me as a sci-fi nerd who, you know, loved Star Trek and Next Generation growing up. That show also had a cool vibe, so it's interesting that they cast him for such cool work. You know what I mean? Like the vibe is real jazzy, it's real laid back, it's real smooth, you know. I just think he did a great job and added so much to that cast, and he was there for the entire run of the show, which is even more amazing.
Yes.
I hear he's a beautiful human being.
Yeah.
I heard nothing to the contrary about LeVar Burton. So I think that's definitely an appropriate pick. Big shout outs to him and all the work he's done over his career, because Roots is obviously one of the most powerful uh, pieces of cinema that, especially for black folks,
Yes.
that has been put out, you know, in the last 100 years. So,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah, and to go from that transition to Roots, you know, after watching that documentary, going that from that transition to from Roots to Reading Rainbow was, I guess, you know, the people that were older was like, yo, do we really want to put this guy into Reading Rainbow? I mean, he was getting whipped up, you know, by a white man, and you know, it's Kunta Kinte and shit, and it's like,
might be too much for the senses.
yeah, exactly. So, and you know, then he also had kind of pushed the boundary too by wanting to not shave at some point, and also, you know, wear earrings and shit. Just like, you know, I think at this point I deserve to be me. I want to be me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what I didn't realize. Obviously, I'm a kid, but watching the documentary, it was like, you know what? That's what's up. That's what's up, and that's what especially with somebody that's trying to be in the industry. You gotta, I guess, when you get your foot in the door, you kind of gotta be the yes man, do what you need to do, whatever. And then when you get settled, try to be you. Or some people want to just try to be me as much as they can in the beginning and not lose yourself. And he has showed us that. So he has showed us that, not really lose himself, and not be too fake or anything like that. That's just, and it goes to show it's free to be a nice human being.
Straight up. We could all use more kindness, man. I don't know. Props to LeVar. Props to his way of life. Props to all the work he's done, for sure. I can definitely second that emotion.
Yep, but yeah. Shout out to LeVar Burton, another important, figure in our life. Try to give him his flowers before we no longer see this man again. That will be a sad day.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
Shout out to LeVar.
For sure.
Yeah, so that about wraps it up for this Jawn Active podcast. If you have anything else to add before we wrap it up?
I don't know if we gave our condolences and gave a shout out to Jesse Jackson, but I definitely would like to mention that to close out the show too. Another huge figure in the Black community, did so much for Black people with the civil rights movement. Even ran for president himself back in the day.
Yeah, he did. I remember that.
The brother is just his contribution to our people has been invaluable. So I definitely want to, give my shout out to him, give my flowers to him, condolences to his family and all his loved ones, and just give Jesse Jackson some praise for the work he did on our behalf.
I mean, he's lived a life. He has lived a life. I didn't even know it. I forgot that it went back as far as, working with Dr. Martin Luther King and stuff like that. And I was, growing up, I was wondering, why is this man so important? Why are we following him? Why is it? And then it's like, that makes sense. Been, keeping up and trying to pass on what Dr. Martin Luther King has been doing, and been trying to do it as peacefully as possible all these years. Another person that I haven't heard, I'm not sure if there's anything out, but I haven't really heard any bad things about him, really.
Me either.
And, it's another great human being that's, that had passed on. And it start to hit us that we're at that age that all of our childhood heroes and, important figures in our lives are, starting to, meet the stairways.
Yep. Definitely makes you think about your own mortality too. But
yes.
Definitely got to give them their thanks and their praise for what they've done for us and the mark that they've left on this world.
Yep, because we wouldn't be right.
No.
As in doing what we need, doing what we want to do.
Yes. Providing for our families. I mean, if it weren't for men like Jesse Jackson, they would definitely for certain still have us in shackles.
Yes, for sure. So, but that's it for this Jawn Active podcast. Thank you for listening. Hitting like and subscribe us. We're trying to get out there. Everybody, take care of yourself, take care of each other, take care of your mental. Peace out.
Fight the power. Peace.
Yep.